Look at China. Well,
What a great look, dude.
she was a badass, wasn't she?
I'll be honest, I like this look for Triple H too. This
Really?
original blue blood gimmick, the Hunter
Yeah,
Hearst Helmsley thing. If
yeah,
he was doing this on the Indies today, not that he would need to, but
yeah.
somebody could do that look on the Indies today.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hey, so if you just joined us, I talked earlier about doing a live Zoom with anyone who wants to join me. So it's kind of a
Can we show Hog on the Zoom or no?
no, we're not going to show Hog on the Zoom.
I'm just asking. You got to get hot, Jesus.
Darren
God.
Darren Staley wants to know: does Tony have a living will? Is he a lawyer?
We're wanting to know. We're planning to kill you,
Okay, I
and
do.
we're trying to get to your baseball card
I
collection.
do have a living will. Yes, and you open up my living will, and it goes, "Have a blessed day."
All right, boys and girls, that'll do it. Thanks for tuning in to a special edition of WHW.
Yeah. So what
We,
if we do? What if I do the? What if I do the Zoom on Thursday? How about that?
hell yeah,
Okay.
I like
Okay.
it. So this Thursday, join us, patreon.com/WHW Monday,
Yeah.
and we'll be going live with Tony Schiavone
Yeah.
while I am stuck in Dallas.
Yeah. Uh, going to Dallas, huh?
Arlington.
Going to Arlington, huh?
Are you laughing at me?
Yes, I am.
Are you laughing at me for why I think you're laughing at me?
Yep. Okay. So,
Scale of 1 to 10, how frustrated am I about to be?
okay. So listen. I want everybody who's on here. If you know somebody who is a Patreon member, let them know. One of the reasons two reasons I stopped it. Number one, because I started doing a show on. We were doing Fridays, I think, and I started doing a show on
Yep.
Saturdays, and it just got to be too much. The second one is that it got to be just the same people all the time, and we didn't pull anybody new in.
Yeah.
So tell your friends that are with us. Okay.
Tell them.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, now Bryant just said it gives him plenty of time to get home from Omaha and Dynamite to join. It sure does, Bryant. However, if there's a blizzard and I'm stuck in Omaha, we may have to postpone it. But I should make it. I take the first flight out. Anyway. So anyway, we're going to do it Thursday, this coming Thursday.
WHWMonday.com is where you can follow us on YouTube. But if you want to be a part of this special video live interactive experience with Tony, it's on our Patreon at patreon.com/WHW Monday. Go check it out. Be a part of the family. You'll be glad you did. And this is probably, I think you've seen Young Rock maybe one other time, maybe that Survivor Series show. Is this only the second time you've seen really young Rocky Maivia?
Exactly. The first time was the Survivor Series when it was his debut, right?
That's right. Yeah. And now he's the Intercontinental Champion. By the way, that was November of the prior year. We're just in March. So it was too much too soon. He's been the IC champ at this point for about a month.
Uh-huh.
Fans are already turning against him. And this is when he starts to see the Rocky die. He's just the white meat baby face. There's no really depth to the character until he gets injured and comes back and turns heel. And then it's a whole new ball game. The only thing that was even interesting about him back then to me was he had these weird boots where like the calf was cut out at the top. What do you think of that look?
It's unique. I got to
Yeah.
say that. Yeah. No one else was doing it that I can ever remember. I love how China just arms crossed, like, if you want me out of the ring, Rocky, move me. Right.
I think after this match, and this one goes like 15 minutes, after this match, Sonny comes out. So anytime we get to see Sonny, that's a good day.
Absolutely. You know, the evolution of Rocky to the Rock is a story that all young wrestlers should take notice,
Yes, agree.
because it's not always your work, but it's the way you can talk and bring in the people that gets you over. And of course, I guess you can say he's one of the greatest talkers of all time, right?
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to give you some context to what's going on in this era in pro wrestling as we're talking about March of 1997. It's in the Observer in the
Oh,
AAA section when it's written, the war heated up once again with Antonio Pena filing lawsuits this past week against Conan, Rey Mysterio Jr., Psychosis, and Juventud Guerrera for breach of contract for leaving AAA for Promo Azteca and WCW.
mm,
The lawsuit not only calls for dissolvement of the group's connection with Azteca, but also with WCW. When Pena made the deal with Vince McMahon, Eric Bischoff immediately put pressure on to make sure all the Mexican talent in WCW was signed to WCW contracts.
mm,
WCW received a legal letter from AAA saying those contracts should be voided since most of the wrestlers who had signed them already had existing deals with AAA. The WWF may be involved in this since one would figure if AAA were to win the suit and control the bookings of these wrestlers, they may be forced to work for WWF, although all of that happening seems at this point to be a remote possibility. The same group has countersued Pena, asking for back union dues that they were supposed to receive upon leaving the company and for monies owed to them for appearing on television and merchandising that they've yet to receive. Pena had previously filed a suit against La Parca several weeks back, trying to keep Parca from using the name. There are several other lawsuits out there, but a lawsuit from a ways back involving former AAA minis should be coming to court in about 2 weeks. And a lot of people see the result of that suit as a barometer for future suits, in that whichever side wins will be favored in the future. Do you remember this whole AAA versus WCW thing being a thing?
not at all. That must have. Well, again, back then I was not, and still am not, dirt sheet savvy,
Right?
and stuff like that would have only been in the dirt sheet. I don't think it would have been talked about backstage. And once again, you know, um, it's the same thing that goes on today, in that as an announcer, you kind of stay in your announcer place unless you want to walk around and go into the locker rooms. And I do go in the locker room and say hello to the guys every show. Um, and go into the other locker rooms like Samoa Joe's locker room, the Elite's locker room, and say hello. But normally, you just kind of stay in your lane, and so I didn't remember any of that. Did Have you talked to Eric about that?
Yeah, a
Uh,
little bit.
what does he say about it?
That it was factual. You know, he didn't feel like most of those contracts in Mexico were enforceable or that they had been honored on both sides. He wasn't too terribly concerned about it, but once it became a legal issue, it wasn't something he messed with anybody anyway. Corporate did, and they
Mhm.
made the determination as to whether or not they should continue or not, and that was kind of it. So I didn't get the vibe that he viewed it as all that big of a deal.
Okay.